welcome to Discovering Star Trek. It's Entertainment Talks podcast for Star Trek Discovery on CBS, All Access and Netflix in the UK. I'm your host Matthew and this is for Season 3, Episode 3, People of Earth. I really quite enjoyed this episode. I thought that the cold open, quite a long cold open admittedly, but it doesn't matter how long your cold open is, of the reunion with Michael and everybody, and of course, Philippa is in the background, and she just kind of gives Michael a look because she's not going to be. I found that quite interesting, and obviously it lines up with very much what Philippa's character is, or who she is rather, of like not emotionally getting involved. Everyone's kind of surrounding Michael at the start, and Tilly hugs her and Saru hugs her, and I think Paul did as well, and some other characters did. Didn't notice Hugh in this episode, but anyway. And then of course, Philippa's just sort of standing in the background, and just sort of, I thought she would have at least given some sort of just a little nod, just a little like, okay, you're back, cool. But she's, again, like I said, she's not one to get emotionally invested. They just kind of give each other a look, which is kind of what that relationship is, so that was kind of good. And then just the brilliant scene of Saru saying to Michael about, we need to have a conversation about this, like who's going to lead this ship, who's going to be the captain of the Discovery, is it going to be Michael or Saru? And Michael kind of not gives in, but is like, okay, you're the captain. I never really thought I was necessarily, but you are. I thought that was really good. And then everyone just kind of, a very much mutual agreement between everyone of like, okay, yeah, Saru's got this kind of thing. I thought that was nice. Interesting little bit of dialogue there from Michael, her saying like, I never sure if I really was, like she's kind of unsure of herself as the captain. Yeah, I mean, she's been away for a year. She's obviously changed slightly. I mean, she needed to. That's part of character development. But she sort of changed slightly. Maybe just come to the realization that, like, by the end of the episode, she's Saru's number one, which I think is a good fit for her. But just very much like, okay, Saru, you've been captain all this time. You've been captain before as well. And just kind of handing it over to him, but not like submitting it to him, just saying like, okay, you are a captain, you are the captain, and like she wasn't sure that she was, kind of thing. I thought that was kind of good. I kind of enjoyed the Raiders storyline, if you will, of the episode, the sort of main thrust of the episode with them getting boarded by these people, and then trying to like sort of scan them, and then Paul meets this 16-year-old, and she's kind of trying to explore and discover the ship, and he starts talking to her about it. I thought that was kind of interesting. The Brooks stuff in this episode I thought was kind of good. He'll probably be back. He's saying I'll see you around, Michael, at the end of the episode. Thought that was kind of interesting. A couple of funny little lines. The suit. Did you like the suit sort of thing, like the Starfleet, the Discovery suit that everyone's got, which he had to wear because of the inspection and that. And him kind of saying, no, it gave me a rash or whatever. Thought that was kind of interesting and kind of good. There was just little bits of dialogue in this episode that kind of added towards certain characters, like some of the stuff that Paul said, a lot of stuff that Michael said. Of course, the conversation between Saru and Michael added to some things. Brooks's little line there about like, because him saying all this the suit gave me a rash is a bit like him saying, okay, I was there with you, but I'm not. He's not a Starfleet, and we kind of knew that, and we kind of could see in the scene where Michael's getting him to put the suit on and saying like, you need to have this on or you'll be potentially arrested or probably arrested. It was a good little moment for his character as well, because it sort of, I don't know, it fleshed it, to me it gave him a bit more development and sort of fleshed him out of like, okay, he's there on the journey with Michael, but he's not Starfleet, and he's kind of this smuggler type of character. He's not someone to really get tied down to a particular group of people, so I found that quite interesting as well. But no, I thought that was good. Other things in this episode, yeah, of course they go back to Earth for a little bit. I think it's Earth anyway that they go back to at the end, and then they talk about this tree that they have all been at before, and that sort of thing. We get the explanation of this, I can't remember what they called it, the burn thing, where all the Starfleet ships were exploded because of what happened. I thought that was kind of interesting, and some interesting stuff there from Saru as well. And again, kind of going off of what I said from last week's episode, with Saru and Philippa kind of challenging each other in a way, where this raider character comes onto the ship, and Saru's negotiating throughout this whole episode, and he tries to do really, really well with it, and then sometimes when things just get to a boiling point with Philippa, she kind of intervenes, got the guy to take his helmet off to reveal that he's actually human and not this sort of alien type of person or whatever he was kind of assumed to be, and then they kind of negotiate from there. So that's actually kind of a situation where, because last week with, I can't remember the guy's name, the other enemy that they came across last week, and it was very much Philippa took over, killed the other guys, but left him alive, and then let him kind of be on his own and that sort of thing. And then in this episode, a lot of Saru's negotiation tactics do work, but then when it gets to a certain boiling point for Philippa, she kind of intervenes, and it worked sort of better in this episode. Not in terms of the quality of the episode, but the characters' plans were more successful, I suppose, in this episode. I mean, they were successful in both this episode and the last one, because I was going to say no one got killed, but Cole did, didn't he, last week, unfortunately. So I guess it was more successful this week, because nobody particularly did get killed, which was good. But yeah, that's my initial kind of thoughts on the episode. Let's take a quick little break. We'll go into some housekeeping, and then I will talk about some more of this episode and of Star Trek. See you for that in a minute.
Hey there, I'm Aaron Holman, host of Eye to Eye, a weekly podcast talk show all about passion.
I have this passion and this fire within me that burns brighter than the fire around me.
Flow.
With performing, there's always a story to tell, whether it's my own or not.
And creativity.
I go, he's more than cute, he's creative.
All with an LGBT twist. Make sure to check out Eye to Eye, that's EYE, number 2, letter I. And rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in today.
I'm Christy.
And I'm Jackie.
And we are Killer Fun. We explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week.
For as long as people have been communicating, they have been talking about who did what to whom, and is that socially acceptable?
Because the boundaries of society,
crime,
and entertainment have always gone hand in hand.
The more salacious,
or weird,
the better. From books and movies
to television shows and games,
we look at how life and art imitate and inform one another.
And we can't get together and not laugh. So let's face it, there's going to be laughing.
Killer Fun is available anywhere you listen to podcasts, so join us.
If you'd like to get started with a domain name and a website today, just click on the link in the show notes and that will take you over to Kualu to get started. They also have a live support chat system that you can use, which is in the bottom right hand corner. So get started with a new website and domain name today with Kualu. Hey everybody, if you would like to get the ad-free versions of all of our podcasts and support Entertainment Talk along the way, all you need to do is head over to patreon.com/entertainment talk. Sign up either as a creator or as a Patreon, there's no difference there. That's just the option for either becoming a creator now or just staying as a patron for the moment. And then all you need to do is support us at the $1 level tier. That will get you access to all of the ad-free podcasts that we've done in the past, and get you access to all the ad-free podcasts in that month as well. So it's a great way to support us on Entertainment Talk and to get rid of the ads and get your ad-free podcasts. You can also become a patron at the $3 level tier. That gets you access to ad-free podcasts and allows you to redeem a review of a TV show or a film of entirely your choice. That's one per month for either a TV show or a film review, which is at the $3 level tier. As always, thank you very much for listening. Back to the show. Alright, recently on Entertainment Talk, what have we got for you here? The United cast, Man United beat Leipzig 5-0 in the Champions League, and a hat-trick from Marcus Rashford, who I'm sure some of you have seen in the news recently because of his MBE award and him helping starving children and whatnot, so I'm sure some of you have seen him on the news in the last couple of weeks. But he himself got a hat-trick and helped the team, of course, win 5-0 against Leipzig in the Champions League. So very, very good stuff. Manchester United play against Arsenal on Sunday in the Premier League, and I'll be back for that possibly on Sunday. We'll see, but that'll be the next game. Walking Dead World Beyond, Season 1, Episode 4, The Wrong End of a Telescope episode. We covered that. Lots and lots of things to talk about this week, so very interesting episode. Gaming talk this week, we talked about the Uncharted film update. We saw a couple of pictures of some of the cast as the characters that they're going to be playing as. Cyberpunk 2077 got delayed again until 10th of December, so it's been delayed out of November until December, so we talked about that. And Assassin's Creed is going to be getting a live-action TV series adaptation on Netflix, of course based on the Assassin's Creed Ubisoft video game series. So we talked about that and a bunch of other things. Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 Episode 3, of course we're doing all of the Walking Dead stuff at the moment, so check all that out. Iron Man VR Let's Play Sunday episode. If you want my review for Iron Man VR, it's also available to be listened to as well if you search for Iron Man or video game reviews or something along those lines on the website as well. Man United 0-0 with Chelsea, another United cast episode. Must play review for Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time with the subtitle Love and Respect, because that's very much what I feel from the developers. So really, really good stuff there for Crash Bandicoot 4. Star Trek podcast, of course, and that's pretty much everything we've been doing on entertainmenttalk.org and on podcast platforms. So yeah, good episode this week. Quite enjoyed what they did, quite enjoyed some of the new Raider-esque type of characters. I don't suspect we'll necessarily see them again. We might see the woman that visited the Discovery possibly again, but that sort of seemed like a very much procedural element of the episode this week. I think we'll see Brooks again, like we said. I don't think it'll be next episode. I think he'll go away for a couple of episodes maybe. But it's going to be interesting to see, because we still don't necessarily, I mean, we kind of have a through line for the season. They're trying to find, like the Starfleet ships and whatnot, and of course they had the big reveal in this episode about most of those got destroyed, or all of them, most of them, 90% of them pretty much, from the burn thing that we saw at the start of the episode. So they're going to kind of have to try and push on from there per se. So that'll be interesting. But I thought it was a good mix this week of, they're still trying to look for that, and then they come across these raiders and this other ship that they come across as well. One other little thing I want to note about the episode as well. You've got Brooks's ship, which was the sort of two-man sort of led ship. I really like the sort of use of technology there. You got this stuff that kind of, I can't think of a better word to use, so I'm going to go for this, like floats above the keyboard. There's all this sort of tech stuff that sort of comes up. So I thought that was quite fun, because it's been pointed out quite a few times with the Discovery itself that, because the young woman that's talking to Paul in this episode, she talks about, like, you've got old tech here that you've made to look newer, and there has been a lot of comments throughout all 3 seasons really about, like, this ship is quite old, and some people sort of said, like, or some characters have sort of said that have come across the Discovery about, like, you should upgrade this and that. I'm wondering if at some point in this season, because I don't recall this actually happening yet, if the Discovery is going to get, like, an upgrade at some point. You would have thought that potentially, especially with this season, with the kind of time jump stuff and time travel sort of thing that's going on, that you could have kind of refreshed the Discovery a little bit. So I'm wondering if that's going to happen at some point. Of course it would require the sets to be sort of redone and whatever. Not the whole ship necessarily, but just sort of some of the main parts of it maybe, to make it look sort of a bit newer. So we'll see. But nonetheless, enjoyed this week's episode. Thought it was quite good. And I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with things next week as well. Don't really know. We don't really have a clear sort of idea where they're going next week, because we did know that at the end of the first episode it was kind of, okay, are we going to see the rest of the crew? We saw that in episode 2. Episode 2 ends and we have the reunion. We knew that in episode 3 there was no way really to avoid it. You were going to have the reunion in this episode. Episode 3 kind of ends where like there's no immediate next thing. I mean, I know that Saru and Michael kind of said, you know, we have some work to get on with, and then Saru at the end of the episode kind of contacts the Discovery crew that have left the ship for a little bit to take a break, kind of says like we got to get back to doing things, but there's no, you know what I mean, there's no immediate next thing to happen. There's no like reunion or whatever. All of that is done now. And just to kind of go back on that a little bit, I remember saying at the end of the first episode about like, okay, how's the season going to be paced? You know, when are we going to see the Discovery crew? How many episodes is it going to be until we see Michael with the crew? I think they've pretty much nailed it with that. Because, you know, you had one episode with Michael, the main character, meeting Brooks, setting him up, what's he about, what's going on, what's happening. Episode 2, we meet, you know, the rest of the Discovery crew, pretty much see what they've been up to and everything. And in episode 3, they reunite, and then we kind of push on from there. I don't know that you could have really done that any quicker and made it sort of made sense necessarily, so I thought that was quite well paced, which yeah, I'm happy with the way that all of that turned out, which was quite good. Just look, you know, and it was I've been saying a lot recently about structures of different shows and how well different things are structured. So far I think this show's been structured and paced fantastically. I can't really think of, let's say, a different way to put the pieces of the puzzle together, because you got to think sometimes of your TV show as a puzzle of like, okay, where do we put certain things, where do we have certain characters pop up, how's it going to connect pacing wise and structure wise to the story to make it actually flow really well. And can't particularly think of how they could have done that better. You started off with, you know, characters in separate places, now they're all joined back together, and we still have 10 episodes left of the season, so because we've got 13 and we're 3 down, 10 to go. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So overall, happy with the episode, happy with the season so far. But what did you think of this week's episode? What do you think of the structure and the pacing and the flow of the season? All very, very important things. It's great when you got a good story and good characters and good character development, but you need good structure, pacing, and a good flow to your story and show. But how do you feel like everything is going at the moment for this season of Star Trek Discovery? You can let me know, of course. Feedback, Matthew@entertainmenttalk.org, Twitter eTalkUK. There's a contact page and information in your show notes. So please let me know what you feel or how you feel about Star Wars, or Star Trek, or anything related. Sorry, I got Mandalorian on the mind today still, because it's obviously back for season 2 today. But for Star Trek, let me know what you think of this season of Star Trek, or Mandalorian as well. You can let me know what you think of that, or anything related to Entertainment Talk. So please get in touch with us and let us know what you think. That's it for this week's episode. Thank you all very much for listening. You can find everything else that we've got on entertainmenttalk.org, TV, video games, films, and Manchester United related things as well, with the United cast. Thanks for listening, and if you like what you hear and you want to see more and you want to support what we're doing here at Entertainment Talk, there's a few different options for you. Patreon is the first of them, of course. You can have a look at the $1 and $3 level tiers for instant podcast, ad-free podcast, and review options. Amazon affiliate link if you're doing that early Christmas shopping before Halloween starts. No problems with that. You can, of course, use our Amazon affiliate link. We can get a small cut of what you spend. It won't cost you extra. So whether you're treating yourself, Christmas shopping, or whatever else you're buying on Amazon, doesn't matter. We can you can support us through that as well. Word of mouth, you can simply tell people that you know about the different content that we've got if you have a conversation with someone, or if you just want to tell your family and friends or whoever about the website and your iTunes feeds. That would be brilliant as well. Social media, you can do essentially the same thing, but through Facebook and Twitter and different Facebook groups if you can. If you want your up-to-date, reliable TV and film news, you can head over to geektown.co.uk. David's got you covered over there. geektown.co.uk. Geektown Radio episodes on Tuesdays. This week's episode is of course available to be listened to, so you can go and check that out as well. If you search for Geektown on iTunes podcast services, you can also search for, of course, Entertainment Talk on your favourite iTunes and podcast services as well. And please get yourself subscribed, rate, review both Geektown and Entertainment Talk. Bex is streaming daily at the moment over on Twitch. You can check her out on there. Trista Bytes, Trista Bytes, Trista Bytes. Go and follow her on there for daily streams and all that fun stuff. And of course, lastly, Let's Play Sundays. You can look out for those episodes as well, of course, on Sundays. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.